Welcome to Cigar Time, your ever so friendly show, especially today, all about premium cigars and ashtrays.
Damn it, he said that. I was going to say
mood
it.
going on today?
Nah, no mood at all, just a little cutting edge.
Okay.
I love it when my children just... it's so invigorating. At my age, I can get away with that stuff. Are you allowed? Yeah, you're allowed to say stuff. Yeah.
Stuff is okay.
I almost said something else. But
I think you can say that too.
I wouldn't take that chance.
We got a
The feces police might get on me for saying that word.
Did you say we have a crack-addicted editing team?
Yes.
No. What do we have?
Nothing.
Nothing.
Nothing. What are we smoking today, Rob?
Nice ashtray.
Not big enough.
We should have the cameras rolling before the
Not
show
big
actually
enough.
starts.
Yeah, right. The previous 10 minutes was awesome.
We got 7 minutes of it.
Oh, good.
Oh, really? Oh, cool. All right, so we're at 20. So we have 20 minutes left to fill.
Not to interrupt this wonderful fun time, but this
get
is a
to
show
smoke
about
it.
cigars.
We get to smoke?
Not
them?
You
ashtrays.
said and ashtrays.
Not
Ashtrays?
What is it that we're smoking
We're
today?
smoking the Diesel Lancero. It's our TAA cigar.
Super rare.
For those of you that don't know, TAA is the Tobacconist Association of America. It's a very exclusive organization. There are only about 80 companies involved nationwide. And the good news is virtually every major manufacturer makes something special each year exclusively for TAA stores, of which we are one.
Yeah. We
Actually,
are
of
the
which
only
we are
one.
19.
In the viewing audience, at least the primary viewing audience, meaning most of the Delaware Valley and lower Lehigh Valley area, we're the only one. Our stores are TAA members, have been for a number of years, and we're very fortunate to get these somewhat rare cigars, and all the stores have displays of them, and we do a nice job with them.
They are special.
They are. Scott, do you know what the blend is?
I do. At least I can read it off of my screen.
How
I do
special-
know that
How special are they?
it's a San Andreas blend wrapper from
No,
Mexico.
it's not.
Uh-oh.
It's a San Andreas.
San
brand.
Andreas.
Oh.
I'm sorry, you're right. The binder is Ecuadorian Sumatran and Nicaraguan Habano filler, and it's a collaboration between AJ and some guy at General. Justin
and
something.
some guy.
Justin Andrews. He's the Diesel brand manager.
Ah.
Oh wait, I did hear of him.
What's his name?
They said there's
Some
only
guy,
I
Justin
didn't realize
Daniel, I've
Justin
heard of him
Andrews.
too. And
Could be just
There's
a
only
beer,
1,000 boxes of these made. I think we got 500 of them.
I think so.
and they sell.
They
do
do.
sell.
You know what? It's a Lancero. Does it give the dimensions of this Lancero?
7.
It's long by thin.
By 38.
Okay, 7 by 38. People in the industry love this size cigar. It's the consumers that don't like it for some reason.
Well,
Like,
not
don't-
all.
Not all. There are some consumers.
There's it's a niche market.
It is very, but they don't sell.
But it's a
very
great
well.
cigar to smoke.
It is a great cigar.
great
to smoke.
size to hold.
You get a ton of taste from the wrapper. It's a fantastic
Have we
cigar.
ever done
It
a
really
It's
is.
like
Have
smoking
we done a
two
Lancero on here before?
No,
I think we.
it's like
have.
two petite Coronas.
Yeah.
My problem
What'd you
is
say?
I feel
It's like
when I have a
smoking two
cigar this
petite
size,
Coronas
Right,
in a
exactly.
row.
I feel like I'm back in Catholic school and waiting for the nun to smack my hand.
Why, you used to smoke in
Because
school?
no, it's the size of a pencil.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
It's a little thicker than a pencil, but not much.
You're not doing it
The
right.
key with the Lancero, though, is if you're a power hitter, like, if you got to really finesse this cigar. You can't smoke it like a regular one because it'll get too hot. It'll burn very quickly, and
very
you get
hot.
that nasty
You
flavor
have to
too
savor
soon.
it. You savor it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It's. I think it's a great size. I really do.
I smoke
I'll
them
tell you
every
one
once in a
thing.
while.
This was the size of the cohiba that El Comandante, Fidel Castro, used to give to visiting dignitaries and world leaders, et cetera, and then they put it in a commercial production, and next to the Esplendido, this was the top-selling cigar. The Lancero, the Cohiba Lancero, was the top-selling cigar. Now, this is years ago, and I'm sure things have changed a little bit, But this was the second best-selling size.
I
next to
think the number one selling Cuban is the Monty number 4, which is like a
Yeah.
Panatella or something.
Yeah, it's real
a
small.
little shorter version of this. I used to smoke those in the afternoon in Cuba.
Still,
Great.
in most of the world, this kind of ring gauge
It's more
is
popular.
the most popular.
Yeah, it's more popular. Yeah, it's only in the United States for some reason. And the funny thing is, back in my youth, when we were smoking, you know,
Dinosaurs.
dinosaurs, we'd roast them first before we smoked them.
Yabba dabba
Oh, yeah.
doo.
Yeah, but
It brings out the flavor.
This was a very popular size in some of the Havana Clear cigars and early machine-made cigars. The Lancero size or Panatella size was a very popular size.
Yeah.
Do they
I
still
c-
make the Cohiba? In the Lancero?
Oh yeah,
Do
yeah,
they?
absolutely do. Yeah. Matter of fact, my first cigar that I can remember actually going and buying when I was about 15 was Philly's Bonanza, which was exactly this size, or maybe a goat shorter.
Really?
Yeah, Philly's Bonanza. I don't think they're made anymore, but that was a great cigar. It was made from Havana Clear tobacco. They were like 4 or 5 for like 40, 50 cents. I mean, they were
Was
cheap.
this was
Was it back in the early 60s?
I have a
pre?
question.
So it was pre-embargo or
It was
pre-embargo.
pre-embargo, and then I think we discussed
And
this on-
post-embargo.
and post-embargo because the dealers that had inventory of
Yeah.
Cuban cigars when the embargo went into effect were allowed to sell them off.
Right.
And because Cuban cigars in those days, it wasn't like the forbidden fruit like today. They were damn good cigars, but there were other cigars made in places like Nicaragua and some other countries that were pretty good too. So when the embargo went into effect, of course, there was a rush on Cuban cigars, but the prices didn't escalate all that much until the inventory started really going down. Then they got expensive. But I remember buying H. Upmann Coronas, Cuban Coronas, for like 35, 40 cents a piece. Now again, this is the early 60s, but you know, relatively speaking, that's not like $20 or $30 today like they sell for it overseas. They don't sell them in this way.
Didn't JFK smoke
It
Upman
sounds,
Panatella?
Yeah, I
no,
think
he
so.
smoked.
Petite
He
Upmanns.
smoked the Coronas.
Correct, the
straight
Coronas.
Corona,
Yeah.
Question
That's
for you. You mentioned it a couple of times. Clear tobacco? What's that
Havana
mean?
Clear.
Havana
Havana
Clear.
Clear.
What does that mean? I've never heard it before.
That is an old phrase.
Yeah.
It refers to pre-embargo when a lot of domestic cigar manufacturers in the U.S. would use Cuban filler and either a Connecticut wrapper or another, but a non-Cuban wrapper. And those cigars were called Clear Havana because it was Havana tobacco, but it wasn't made there.
And it was
Okay.
pretty decent. It wasn't the highest end tobacco because most of it was used in machine production. Well, I don't know if most of it, but a lot of
A
it,
lot
was,
of
used,
it was.
used in machine production. And what the hell?
I've had machine-made Cubans. And
Oh,
they're
yeah.
actually-
Yeah, they're
they're
very good,
decent.
yeah.
Yeah, they're usually little power sticks.
Yeah. Cigars.
It's a terminology.
When
How?
those Havana Clears that you smoked,
Yeah.
it was Cuban tobacco, but you said, as Paul just said, the wrappers.
Yeah, it would have
were
a
different.
Connecticut.
Is that what
It would have
one-
Connecticut or Candela. Remember,
Okay.
back in those days, there was a lot of green leaf.
Yeah, yeah.
A lot of Candela.
But wasn't brown an anomaly? Like that
That was
came
English
around in the-
market, typically. The deep, rich brown was what they would call English market selection. AMS, American market selection, was typically Candelas. There weren't that many. You didn't have all this. Some of it was around, but the distinction wasn't that great. You didn't have Criollo, Corojo,
Yeah.
Habano. I mean, and on and on and on into the night. You didn't have all that. They were either brown or they were green.
I was watching Columbo the other day, and
He smoked green ones.
he smoked.
Yeah, 'cause
I
that was the-
laughed at him. I'm like, he's smoking a
Really?
Candela cigar. Yeah.
That was the flavor of the day.
It was funny.
We don't carry that
Right
Candela,
after
do
the
we?
revolution,
We will be.
virtually every
What?
non-Cuban cigar
Was green.
in America was green.
Green, yeah. If you go back and look at the early, like Dutch Masters, El Productos,
Bearings, even.
Bearings, they were all green.
Yep.
They were all green.
Well, thinking back, what cigar would you guys bring back if you could? Like something something that's not around any longer, but you would love to have again.
It's not around. Not around. That's an
Yeah.
interesting question.
I
That's-
have a couple.
There's a lot of them.
There are a lot
Well,
of
you
them,
can,
but
you can do more than one if you like.
Okay.
if I'm going to go,
Go in style.
if I'm going Cuban, There is a Cuban cigar that they haven't made in about 20 years that I thought was possibly the single best cigar I've ever smoked. It was a Romeo and Juliet Celestialis Finis.
Yeah.
It's a little perfecto.
Yeah, there was size, yeah.
And interestingly, they would recommend that if you bought a box and you wanted to smoke them, you were supposed to wait about 15 years before you smoked them. That's how much age they would take.
Yeah. Well, I'll show it next week too. But there's a whole book, and this, it's an encyclopedia of
That
every.
is my book.
No, it's not.
I think I donated it to Como when you guys opened up. No? No. I have one at home, yeah.
Okay. But this has every up until it was printed, every Cuban cigar ever made, and in there it talks about how long, how long you should let it sit. Like it talks about the sick period, and there's a period after that. I forget what it's called, but it tells you when's the right time and when it's too late to smoke them. It's a fantastic book.
That's excellent.
What's it called?
Compendium.
It's from Min Rani. It's an illustrated encyclopedia of post-revolution Havana cigars. If you look it up, they go for about $1,000 now.
What's it that, the book?
Yeah,
You're kidding.
I kid you not. And if yours is older, it might go for
Oh,
more.
mine's pretty old.
I'll give you $50.
Nope.
You know, I should have brought
The other way you can gather that much information is just hang around in the industry for 30 years or so, and
Right.
you'll know all the same stuff.
And you've spent more than $1,000 just smoking cigars,
Smoking
listening
everything.
to everybody talk about it.
Yeah.
Right.
So just buy the book.
What would you bring back, Rob?
Did you have another one you wanted to talk about?
Yes, if we're going to go non-Cuban, this might sound obscure.
It's any cigar. It doesn't
It's
have to be
anything,
Cuban.
yeah.
doesn't
Dur-
have to be.
during the boom, there was a cigar brand called Red Lion,
Oh, yeah, I remember Red Lion.
and
Was it from
thought
Red Lion, PA?
I don't think so.
No, I don't believe so.
But it was it was low-key, nobody made a big deal about it, but during the boom, there were all kinds of brands like that.
Was it better than Big Butt?
A whole lot better, yes. It was. It was actually an excellent
Yeah.
cigar. I haven't seen it since the boom ended, really, but it was great. And if they could bring it back, I would smoke it in a heartbeat.
Yeah.
Whoosh, what about you?
Well, Moose and I talked about this. We have the exact same one, so
Okay, pin yours.
Pinot, the
Pinot?
P3000.
Yeah.
Thanks, guys.
I'm
that
not
makes
kidding.
my day.
No, I'm
That was a great cigar.
I remember on Fridays I'd be leaving Red Bank because that's where I worked, and it was the time to leave work was the greatest time ever because I was heading here to have cigars and play poker on a Friday night. It was and there were times I was jonesing for that cigar. I couldn't wait to get here and get that. It was nice and dark and oily, and
Yeah.
it was fantastic, strong.
We knew that. That's why before you got to the store, we raised the prices 5 times.
Yeah, I still remember the SKU too. It's amazingly enough, but they were just amazing. And there was the how many different? I know there was a P2000, but
Yeah,
the 3000 there was
3000 was the best.
There were actually 5 different kinds.
Well, don't forget the P-Pack.
No, I'm not counting that. There was the original one, the 1958. Then there was the Series B. Then there was the 2000. Then there was the 3000. And when the tobacco ran out, there was the 4000, which was non-Cuban.
Yeah.
That was we called it the post-embargo.
you know what? I only knew of the 2000 and 3000. I didn't know there were
Oh, yeah.
others.
We sold them all too.
We had the 50. I remember the 50.
The B, I don't recall the B.
Series B.
I don't remember. Did we have those?
That was the cigar that was Cuban and Nicaraguan.
Wait,
the original 58 was Cuban
Yeah.
and actually it was Cuban and Dominican. The original,
What was the 3000?
1958. 3000 was pure Cuban,
Really?
unblended.
From
Excuse
Jersey.
me, what?
No kidding.
That's a great,
No,
that's a
no.
great
The
cigar.
3000 was from Florida, from the Grossman.
Oh, the 58 was from Jersey.
Was
Yeah.
from Jersey.
Yeah.
Right.
What else, Moose?
That's it.
Just the 3000?
Yeah.
That was a great cigar. It really was.
What's yours?
So he covered yours.
Do you have another one?
No.
No? No, really? I actually have 3 of them.
Go for it.
One,
Go ahead.
one of them Scott smoked the other day. He brought it back. You showed me
Oh,
a
the
picture.
Macanudo?
No. No.
The Odyssey?
Oh, the Montecruz.
The Montecruz.
Oh, okay.
Montecruz from the Canary
Canary
Islands.
Islands, yeah.
That was a fantastic cigar. The second one would be, you guys are going to laugh at me, the Santa Rosa Maduro.
I don't laugh at you.
I was just talking about that cigar Monday with somebody.
Really?
Yes.
Fantastic cigar. I love that cigar.
You-
That
all
was the
you-
first
all you
Maduro
had to
cigar
do-
I ever smoked.
Lenny Brick.
Yeah.
Brick
All you
Hanover.
have to do is have a paper towel with you when you smoke it to,
Yeah,
to
wipe
wipe
your
the
mouth.
black
a
off.
lot of yeah. That was
And-
made by Consolidated.
And the third one is another one of Paul's cigars, the Beethoven Forte.
Yeah.
That was one of my
I like the
favorite
packaging.
cigars. Yeah.
Yeah, that's the one that came in the Grand Piano.
Yeah, yeah.
It was a
I have one of those
phenomenal
somewhere.
cigar. When I first smoked, you saw I put a toothpick in the end and smoked it all the way to the cap.
Yeah, once in a while,
I
once
like
in a while
the-
he'd get it right.
Oh, it was so good.
I like the Beethoven. Was it the duet?
Duet was
The
the,
barber
twin.
pole?
the
Yeah, the
barber
Sonata.
pole. Yeah, yeah.
That was Sonata was a size,
Ah,
but it,
okay.
it came in the classic, it came in the duet, and it came in the Forte.
Yeah, that was a fantastic cigar. I would love to have those again.
Yeah. Actually, I have a 5-pack of the duet.
Do you really still?
Yeah, it came in a little like 5-pack humidor. I was in Hershey, and it was like 2 days before Greg was closing the store he had in Hershey. And I went in, and I'm like, I was looking for him, but I was there for a soccer tournament, and I was staying at the hotel right across the street. And I go in and I see this. I'm like, no way. So I buy it, and the guy starts laughing. I'm like, what? He goes, we've had those forever. We had a bet on it whether or not we could ever sell those. And 2 days before we close, you come in and buy them.
Yeah, it made their moving the rest of the inventory much easier.
Yes, it did.
You know, after we discontinued that cigar, there were people selling the box
Yeah.
on eBay for $50 a pop.
Oh,
Really?
Yep,
What did those boxes cost you to make?
about $8.
Yeah, that was
Which
a lot
is
of money back
for
then.
a,
Yeah, yeah,
back then
yeah.
for a cigar box.
Yeah. I guess it's up to me.
Yep.
Yeah.
Well, mine is a little not complicated. It's a it's a brand that's still in existence, but it's models that don't exist. And when the company was sold to another company, the big company that makes them now is not the same people that made it before. It was the original St. Louis Ray, and that was a real burner. I mean, that was a smooth, powerful smoke, and it wasn't all that expensive. Was the great part. I don't have some of my favorite cigars are still made. So the whole purpose of this exercise is stuff that isn't made anymore.
Right. So it was something
Okay.
that you probably individually liked that, I don't know, maybe didn't.
I mean, some of my over the years, some of my most favorite cigars are obviously some Cubans and some Padrones and this St. Louis Ray. What did you think I was going to say? I'm just curious now.
Eduardo Suave.
And
That was a great
Honduran.
cigar.
Where's
too.
the
I
That was a great
I
cigar.
hadn't thought of that.
Really?
I
Yeah.
didn't even
I thought for
either.
sure. I thought for sure the two of you would have said that.
No, I honestly.
I completely forgot about
Now
that.
that you mention it, that would be my second one. Yes, the original.
That was a really good
Yeah,
cigar.
the
That he was
original.
making here.
Yeah.
That was when he was a
The tobacco came from Christian.
Oh, so good.
They were fabulous. They were fabulous. I had a few up until maybe a year or two ago.
It was
left.
so nutty and creamy
Yeah,
at the
they
same
were.
time. It
That
was.
was,
Yeah.
that was
It was
Colombian
the
filler, right?
It was Colombian,
tobacco
yeah.
that did it. Yeah.
There's not a lot of cigars that use Colombian
No.
filler, but it
There
had a
weren't then,
very
there isn't now.
No.
it had a very, very distinct flavor.
Yes.
And when General came out with the Colombia, I'm like, yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, it had
I
the
got
same
one honorable
characteristic.
mention, and it was a very good cigar. Not a great cigar, but a very good cigar. Is when I had my own store. I had my own house cigar,
Yeah.
and that was a really good.
Who made it for you?
U.S. cigar.
No, yours too.
Really?
U.S. Yeah.
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 Huh.
Now, are you? Since I brought up the St. Louis Ray, which is as a brand is still around, but
Right.
as we knew it back then,
As a
it's not-
blend, it's not
No,
the same.
not even close. Not even remotely close. I mean,
It's good.
they blended it for a different audience.
Oh,
The original, with the ones without the red band around it, were just barn burners.
I did have a second cigar I just remembered that I was thinking about this. The Partagas Decada.
They came out again. They're out now. We just got some.
Yeah, it's still, yeah, they still
still
make them.
being made.
Yeah,
We just got some.
Yeah, we
Yeah,
just
I think so. Yeah, yeah. That is, the problem is you put the parameters that aren't around anymore.
Yeah.
and so many good cigars are still around.
Well, they're
I mean, let's face it. Some guys, they come out with a new cigar, and you try it. It's the greatest thing on the planet. 2 years down the road, it's different.
It's different, yeah.
It's
By
not
the
the
wa-
same.
By the
Right.
way, if anybody has any of the old P3000s, please feel free to call me.
Yes.
Well,
yes,
here,
definitely.
I'll,
Yeah.
I'll tell you what. If you go out to San Jose, California, there's a big distributor out there called JMG International.
Uh-huh.
They have a huge walk-in humidor. They sell everything all over California. They have a museum of Armando Ramos there
Oh, God.
with about 10 or 15 boxes of every cigar, every size that the Armando Ramos company ever made.
Wow.
And every now and then, the owner will go in there and pick one out and smoke it. And if he has guests, usually manufacturers that know, and ask him if he has any, other manufacturers in the industry love to smoke Pinar's at his place.
Wow.
Why does
So
he
you
have,
can get them there. He was my
museum.
distributor when I was making them.
but why a museum of Armando Ramos?
He just thought it was really cool, and we made so many different things at different times. We were experimenting constantly.
Does he have any for sale, do you think?
He doesn't sell them. He just maintains the museum.
But do you know the way
I
to
was
San
thinking the
Jose?
same thing.
Yeah, but thank God I'm not going to sing it.
No.
Somebody somewhere's got to have some.
No. They're
To
too
sell?
good. No.
Nah.
I have
It's been too long.
It's been too long.
Yeah. Yeah, what year did you come out with those?
98.
Was it
original.
98? I thought it was even before
Wow.
that.
But that was the 1958. Came out in 98.
That makes
Wow.
There's other cigars out there that I wish tasted the same
Oh, that's
as
another
they used to.
issue.
That's different, like the MX2, the CAO MX2. I wish that was tasted the same. That was a fantastic
Something that,
cigar.
there was another one that came from 1992 that I wish tastes the same.
What's that?
Rocky.
Oh yeah.
That was
Which?
Yeah, but you know, you
the
got to
vintage
think.
92. That
Oh,
was, oh my God. I don't know if my taste
I
changed.
was just going to say, sometimes
be.
your taste change.
But the
That's
MX2's not, because they changed the blend when General
Well,
bought
yes,
bought it, they
I'm not
changed
saying
the
if you
blend.
know they actually changed the blend.
Yeah.
But when they don't tell you they changed the blend, and you think you're smoking the same thing, sometimes it's your taste.
Or they
Yeah.
change it and nobody tells the company they change it. Like with the
Yeah.
that happened with the Sopranos.
yeah,
You also have to remember the history on that cigar. Because when it first came
I
out,
forgot the cigar we're talking about already. Oh, Rocky.
the Rocky 92, you said. When it first came out, actually the whole vintage series, when they first
Yeah.
came out, they were cigars that had been on hand at Plasencia for many years.
Yeah.
They
And
were
it was when
aged, yeah.
Rocky and Nestor first started really working together that Rocky began to sell off that old, beautifully aged stuff. None of that is the case anymore.
No.
It's all made for Rocky by General, the vintage series. And so different factory, maybe the same blend, but certainly not the same age
Right.
and not the same flavor.
But before we quit on that note, just because it may not be the same exact
Doesn't
flavor,
mean it's not good.
yeah, it doesn't mean it's
no,
not
no,
good.
I feel
Yeah,
not.
yeah.
It's still a good
The
cigar.
series is
It's
very
different.
good.
It's
It was
different.
my
It's just not
favorite
the same.
cigar. I remember I was like, who the heck is this Rocky Patel dude?
Yeah,
I remember I sat
subscribe
right
to
out there,
the-
one of those high top tables. We had an event with him.
Yeah.
Like, who's this
When a
guy?
new cigar comes
Yeah.
out, I like to buy one and try it. And if I really like it, I go back and buy 2 boxes.
yeah.
One box I age, the other one I smoke.
You know what? I wish
That's a good idea.
I could find. Actually,
Because they're never,
I actually-
as you said, they're never going to be the same,
Yeah.
quite the same. It's a handmade product, so it's never going to be quite
That's
the same.
correct. It's
Yeah.
amazing that so many companies, blenders, get it right. And year
Over
in
and
and
over.
year in and year out, you can't really taste the difference.
I loved the. I like the Laroma de Cuba now, but when Altadis made it,
Yeah.
oh, I actually think I came across a box that was from Altadis because you look on the bottom, it doesn't say Don Pepin.
Right.
Yeah, yeah. That's
Oh,
who
man.
originated it.
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh, they were so good.
And you could talk about that. You go back to the original VSGs, which I still have only a few left. The round ones.
The
round
round
The
one.
ones made in 98, 99.
Well, they were always made by Fuente, weren't they?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, but some years
They were
were
different.
I'm convinced the VSG changed because they put cellophane on it. They used to age them in those boxes, and they used that really like a really great Spanish cedar. In fact, I lined a humidor at home with all of
I
Spanish
still
cedar
have
from
one
their
box
boxes.
left.
Did you really?
Yeah, because the Spanish cedar they used was very aromatic, and I mean that the cigars would pick that up, and I love that flavor in a cigar. But ever since they put in cellophane, I don't get that from it anymore.
That's why so many manufacturers, like I said before, that can be consistent in the blend. It's going to be your taste that changed.
Who do you think is the most consistent in the industry?
Oh,
Padron.
That's
Padron.
easy. That's easy. It begins with a P, and
And
ends
ends
with a
with an
drone.
Ends with a drone.
I agree.
Probably
Because-
Davidoff in second place for consistency.
I don't agree. I don't.
Well,
agree
that's
at
because
all.
they changed wrappers.
No, but well, to me, the Nicaraguan has been fairly consistent, and to a degree, the Millennium. But
Yeah.
Padron nails it. Padron has ear, and you know why?
They're
My
far
theory
above
on that.
everybody else.
Remember, this is a company run by a family. Everybody in that company is part of the family except one person, and she's been there forever.
And she wasn't she their babysitter?
Yeah,
their kid's
something like
babysitter or
that.
something? Raquel, right?
Yeah. They only have so many people in Miami. Most of it is in Nicaragua. They get it right. They get it right. It's amazing. They just get it right. Whatever they're doing, they just keep doing it because they're great at it.
It is the best cigar.
Are we
made.
going to rate this cigar, actually?
Sure.
Sure.
Go ahead.
All right, move, start it out.
Actually, didn't pay any attention.
I'm
to
not
it.
a big fan of the size. I mean, I'm
Okay.
Yeah,
60
you're a
guy,
big.
Yeah.
But I'm enjoying this.
You like big ring cigars?
Yeah, I'm enjoying this. It's got good flavor, excellent burn, good construction. I give it a 9.
Yeah.
Scott?
I'm not a. I know I should be, but I'm not a fan of Coronas and Lanceros. I mean, I enjoy them from time to time, but I rarely smoke them. I'm getting a sweetness from this. So I'm guessing it's coming from the Maduro. I think I'm going to say a little bit nuttiness. I'd give it a 8.75.
Okay. Paul?
It's a lot milder than I would have expected looking at it.
Yeah, me too.
It's a mild medium. It's smooth. It does have a little bit of sweetness, and I get that nuttiness on the retrohale, not on the
Yeah.
regular. The construction is excellent,
Yeah.
and that's particularly challenging
In this
with
size,
the Lancero. There's very little margin for error when you roll in
And a
the
lot of them are
Lancero.
tight. Nobody's complained on the panel. that
No,
these
It's
are
not
tight.
tight at all.
All right, we
It
need to
draws
speed this up.
beautifully.
Rob? Go, put a number on it.
895.
I like it. I'm getting like a sherry taste from it in the beginning. They might age it in sherry casks or something.
She's got a high school there
High school. Why?
with her.
Put a number on it.
No.
Sherry.
Oh, I'm with Moose. I give it a 9. I think
Okay,
it's
just want to
fantastic.
remind everybody, don't mean to talk over you, but we're running out of time. Christmas is coming. There'll be lots of different and, relatively inexpensive gift packs, stocking stuffers. Don't forget, stay tuned for Cigar Time Outlet. And don't forget, cigarsamplers.com. Save
Ciao for
lots
now,
of money.
everybody.
Life's too
Bye-bye.
short to smoke cheap cigars.